Good evening. The laryngitis. It's a terrible thing, especially for a singer. Every singer is paranoid of losing his voice, especially when you're supposed to be singing. So I'm going to throw out a few words here, because I do want to talk about the piece, but I need to start with an apology. I'm sorry for not being able to sing for you tonight. But I'm very glad to be able to hear the concert. You're doing a beautiful job with this. So, the Mozart Requiem is a phenomenal piece. And if anything Mozart, you've got to unpack it a little bit, certainly in terms of the man, the myth, and the legend. But there's plenty of legend that surrounds this piece, and it's one of those things where it's as fanciful as fiction. That it really is true. We'll never know the full truth of the piece. But we start with Mozart. He's one of those three guys, right? I call them my podium guys. We're the greatest composers. Bach, Beethoven, Mozart. You might arrange them differently on the podium, but if one of those guys is not on the podium, there's a problem with your conversation. Because who do you move? Again, the greatest conversations in music is who's number 4. And you find your guy, but that's a fantastic conversation to have another time. So Mozart is up there. Of the three, I think it's easy to say that he's the most naturally talented. Bach might have worked harder. Remember, Bach said famously, I worked hard. If anyone worked as hard as I did, they would achieve similar results, which is flatly false, we know, because Bach is phenomenally talented. But there is something transcendent about Mozart. You know it when you hear it. And almost all of what you're going to hear tonight is Mozart. But he can write this whole piece. First, Mozart, the man, he's born in Salzburg in 1756. His father is a court musician, works for the Archbishop of Salzburg. It was assumed that Mozart would follow in his footsteps. But Mozart wanted to go to Vienna. And he was a relatively young man. He was always a young man. He died before he was 36 years old. So he dies in 1791, just a month before his 36th birthday. So earlier on in life, it became very clear to Mozart's father that he was a genius. At the age of 3, he's playing the piano. At 5, he writes his first piece, which is a beautiful little minuet for the keyboard, which if I played for you right now, you would say, I'm surprised. And it was written by a 5-year-old. When he was a little bit older than that, his father took him and his sister on a grand tour of Europe. So you want to be a prodigy, do you? You want to be famous. You want to ride in a coach over bumpy roads, sleeping on straw as a little kid, and be paraded out like a trained monkey, maybe for no pay, or maybe for a trinket that doesn't work, or maybe for dinner. So this was Mozart's childhood. He was on the road for 4 years. It's terrible. He didn't have a childhood, properly speaking. And it's a very interesting thing, because later in life, it was pretty clear he never really grew up. And so the childlike innocence of a child who was deprived of childhood leaves a very interesting mark on his music. But it's not something to be wished on anybody. So that's where he starts. He was always a man of good spirits. He was tiny. He was very small, probably 5'1", and always a little bit frail. But a genius, an absolute genius. Some of the greatest music ever composed. And he writes equally well in all genres. That's kind of remarkable. So this piece comes at the very end of his life. And we're thinking, well, this is Mozart. This is one of those museum guys. He's rich, he's famous, right? He's neither of those things. People recognize him in Vienna as being that talented Mozart guy. He married his girlfriend's sister. His girlfriend turned him down, so he married the sister. They were actually very happy together. They were both a little bit ditzy and terrible with money. Mozart was always out of money. But by the end of his life, Mozart, that guy, was impoverished. He couldn't get commissions. So during the last couple of years of his life, hello, Mr. Peacock, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. I'd like to welcome you with my voice, but I actually can't. So this is what's left of it. He writes symphonies number 39, 40, 41, symphony number 41. If you're looking for the argument, what's the greatest symphony ever composed? Symphony 41 might be it. There was supposed to be a concert for all three of those museum piece symphonies to be played. It was canceled. By the end of his life, he had 4 piano students that provided him any sort of steady income. He died flat broke, and the myth about the fact that he was buried in a mass grave because he couldn't afford a proper burial is no myth at all. It's fact. If you look for Mozart's graves in Vienna, you will not find it because it does not exist. You'll see the monuments to him all over the place. But he died broke. Homeless. What he left behind for his wife was this piece. So she lived off the proceeds of the Requiem after he died. It was a great gift to her, as it turns out. Interesting piece. So some of you who's didn't have to raise your hands, but I imagine a fair number of you have seen the movie about Mozart, Amadeus. It's largely fiction, but it takes on this story of the writing of the Requiem, and at this point it becomes true. So Mozart is dying. He's very, very sick. It's 1791. And a stranger in a mask, no kidding, shows up at the door and commissions a Requiem. He does not know who this person is. There's a bag of money. I'll give you some more when you finish it, sort of thing. And so he's commissioned to write this Requiem for somebody. And he's so sick that he can't quite write it. He needs help from his students and friends in order to transcribe the music. One student in particular is named Franz Süssmayr, unknown to us because he's one of those composers buried by history, but a talented fellow, and he lives on because he was the one who helped Mozart in the process of transcribing when he was still alive. And more importantly, he's the one who finished the piece after Mozart died. So 8 bars into the Lacrimosa, the Mozart music stops. Toscanini, the great Italian conductor, was known to stop the Requiem at that point and turn to the audience and say, "Here the master put down his pen." There's a lot of music that follows, and as I say, Süssmayr did quite a good job. He did some very smart things. He went back to the earlier music of the piece and borrowed some of it to finish the piece, which is sensible. There are some moments after the first 8 bars of the Lacrimosa where you do get a sneaking suspicion that it's not Mozart anymore, but overall, it's masterfully completed. Süssmayr also helped Constanza, Mozart's widow, make sure that this piece could support her. He was a very, very good friend to both of them. So those myths are true. So the question is, for whom did he write this Requiem? The answer is perhaps this count, or perhaps this noble person, or perhaps. The poetic answer to that question is a little simpler. Mozart, it's not too much to say, wrote the Requiem for himself. When you know you are dying, and you have the capacity for artistic output that Mozart did, the final statement that you make is very important. I think it's beautiful that the piece ended up being the support for his wife that he was never really able to provide. It's a tremendous part of his legacy. And is one of the very few pieces of religious music that he wrote. And so for this to be a final utterance, I think gives us some hope. And as I try to remind the audiences, let your appreciation of this great work inspire you to say a prayer for this man. It's never too late for that, as we know. So he's doing something for you. What can I do for Mozart in return? So anyway, you're going to be very, very happy with this. They're doing tremendous work. Only sorry I can't do it with them, but I'm going to enjoy listening. Just a few practical things. This is a piece where Jennifer's going to have to take a few pauses between movements, but this is a no clapping piece until the very, very end. So I know it's tempting when there's some silence to applaud, but just hold your applause until the end, and that will allow them to maintain some concentration. I was told to tell you that you should feel free to make a donation if you would like. I think is that back there? And they sort of move it a bit from them. There's a button on the back. I think that's, you can with your phone. Oh, you can do that. Anyway, thank you all for coming, and please enjoy Mozart's record.
The first thing I want to do is remind you to please give a little donation if you can, because it costs a lot of money to bring in all these instruments, and this is back so I would like to just encourage you to help pay for that so that she doesn't have to. We have several people we want to thank. Please come forward. Not you, but you girls in the side. Just Helena, you're last, so Helena, just stick down. Other girls are coming up. So we practice all here, but our soloists do it on their own. We just come in and step in and do a fabulous job. And so we always like to thank our soloists. And so first I would like to thank Maria Bales, who does such a lovely job. We have her sisters, Teresa and Katerina. Oh yes, if you didn't notice, they're twins. And their voices are so similar. When we're standing, we can't tell which one's. Where are the other ladies? Okay. No, you're last. You're right before Helena. You're right before Helena. Wait for the other two. Oh, right. All right. I want to thank Mr. Beck. And this year we have a very special thank you because, as you all know, Dr. Childs was supposed to be our soloist, and he is not able to sing with us today. And we had a friend of Mr. Ingram come in to sing with us yesterday, and he had no idea he was going to be singing this. He just was joining our choir. And today on his drive in, he was informed that he was going to be the sub. And so he crash coursed. And so we would like to thank Josh.
Thank you.
The next one I know is a strange gift, but it was what Danielle wanted. So this is for Mr. Ingram, John. I just do want to say that John comes faithfully every week and plays for us. We could not do this without him. And he plays any part that needs the help, he knows. And he is so talented, and just thank you, John. And of course, all our instrumentalists come in that we appreciate you as well, and they did a lovely job tonight. But certainly not least, is the lovely Jennifer Beck, whom we could not do any of this without her. She is so very talented. She teaches us how to form our vowels properly so we don't sound like nasal and P's here. And she's very patient with all of us and knows how to get it in our heads when we have a hard time catching on to harder parts. And she does this year in and year out, and she researches the pieces and puts way too many hours into it, and for that, we're just so very grateful. Thank you, Jennifer.
Sonatas, operas, masses. Thank you. Mr. Mozart, I listen every day. Thank you kindly. But I say, hats off to Mrs. Beck and the community choir. Would you like to give a donation?